All right, sportsmans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. It's still very early in this Major League Baseball season, but it's hard to overlook the hot start from the Tampa Bay Rays. Following today's 9-3 win over the Boston Red Sox, Tampa's record to start this season is a perfect 13-0 as they are setting the pace in the always competitive American League East. Now, Tampa has only had one series away from the Trop so far this year. And yes, they've been doing this against teams that are expected to be among the also rans in Major League Baseball this year. But with that said, you still do not apologize for winning. So far this year, the Rays have been doing it via the long ball, 30 home runs, and then you look at their pitching staff that is normally among the best in the American League. Right now, they're out in front with a 2.17 team earned run average. Manager Kevin Cash is pushing all of the right buttons so far. And it's going to be very interesting for this Tampa team because they're going to have their biggest test of this early season so far this weekend with a three-game set in Toronto against the Blue Jays. But this is still a very workable schedule, if you will, to begin the year for the Tampa Bay Rays. And like I said, they've been able to set the pace in the AL East, and that's important. Remember, the scheduling format has changed this year. You're only playing 13 games against your divisional opponents as opposed to 19. So that means when you have those divisional games, they matter even more. But you look, they've got a 4 game lead, 4.5 game lead over most of the teams in the division. Boston's already 8 behind. And honestly, nobody really expected Boston to be a player in this division this year anyway. But nonetheless, Tampa is putting some distance between themselves and the rest of those teams. You look at the Rays, they're looking to win this division for the third time in the last 4 years. We saw this team, go 40-20 during the shortened COVID year of 2020. They won 100 games in 2021 en route to winning the division. Obviously, it didn't work out in the postseason. And last year, they started off strong and then fizzled towards the end of the season. And then, of course, that slump carried over into the wild card round where they were swept in a 3 game series by the Cleveland Guardians. But nonetheless, so far this season, it is all systems go for the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to keep it up. Bad news for Tampa with pitcher Jeffrey Springs more than likely going to the DL or IL, whatever you want to call it, with the ulnar inflammation. That's going to be very important. But one thing we've seen from Tampa throughout the last 10 years or so, they have a bevy of arms in their system. They keep rolling these youngsters out, these flamethrowers. And I think Tampa really is not going to skip that much of a beat. But nonetheless, when it's all said and done, the Rays have gotten off to this hot start. They got a 3 game set in Toronto this week with the Jays before they got 3 in Cincinnati with the Reds, another team that Tampa should be able to take care of their business with. But nonetheless, this Rays team is looking good so far. Obviously, the MLB season is not a sprint as it is indeed a marathon. But let's see if this hot start is able to carry the Tampa Bay Rays to bigger and brighter things here in 2023. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, and I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.